For the record, my name is Kristen Rucker. Maybe you're watching.
I'm Delise Lance.
And today is 11/18/2024. So the first question is, how do you think the recent election results will impact the country's economic policies for blacks and other minorities in the LGBTQ community?
I think what we did, we lost the working class party. And I think that it definitely will discourage people to believing in the electoral system. I think that young people that came out really great for this election. I think this election is going to hurt us. The economy, the inflation. But I think that we didn't have a strong base of power together collectively. And I think that sometimes your working class voters are taken for granted, that they're going to always wave to the Democratic
Party.
And I feel like now you're losing them. You're losing the working. Those are the strong people. Those are the ones that have the power. Those are the ones that are going to make the change for our democracy and our freedom. And of course, it was devastating, but now it's time for us to pull together collectively and see where we went wrong. And I can say we just missed some base grounds. We missed some very important base grounds in the city, where there was 700,000 that came out and 300,000 didn't vote.
Yes, a lot of young people did not vote.
They sat this out, and but I think our local politicians are not serving us what we feel that they should be fighting for us. We don't see us in the process of change as a people. We don't see us there. It's like they are the local politicians. I had a problem. I'm a committee person, 22nd Ward and 15th Division, and I was very upset that the Democratic committee chairperson Bob Brady suspended some committee people right in the middle of us, going into this historical election, and then he never met with none of us. And there's so many committee people.
Right.
We never had like one mass meeting of strength.
It's more so of word of mouth and
just getting out.
Based on what?
We didn't have a ground base of structure.
Yeah.
We were just out there, grassroots. Everybody had a name. Everybody had a title.
Right.
But
and that was the
collectively, we
thing.
didn't put our titles.
What I noticed, not to cut you off, I noticed, and even in when I go to worship, because I'm very active in the church.
Yes.
And I believe that is the strongest foundation you could ever have.
Yes.
Even when in the church, there is not a collective. So even in politics, when I went to a lot of the events, it was a more so of I. It's not we. So with that energy of I do this, I do that, come to me, how can we put our faith and trust as a working class into who's running if everyone wants recognition? We all supposed to stick together to come to one accord for the cause of all, not just I can do this, I can do that. So I noticed that was a horrible.
It's terrible. It's one mission.
Yeah.
That accomplished the whole mission.
It says one nation under God,
right.
Not I nation under I.
So therefore, I'll tell you where I go. I go to Covenant House. Those are young people that are homeless. That Covenant House should have been covered to make sure those young people I can't do it by myself, but I called out for help. Then we're talking about the returning citizens at halfway houses. They're not allowed to use the halfway house address to register to vote. So we should have been knocking over there saying, okay, let's get them where their relatives so they can use somebody's.
They couldn't give them a P.O. box or a temporary address?
You can't use nothing when it comes to voting. You can like if you want to send a card to somebody's in halfway house, but not voting. You see how this
They
thing
should
is?
change that to make it accessible to everyone.
We're going to fight for that because you're going to tell me I can have people write me and send cards, but I cannot register that place as a place of my residency.
That seems like a fault.
Well, look how many people are there. And so our returning citizens were not looked at. We also had an issue with the returning of the mail-in ballots that were not filled out properly.
They haven't gotten those back, and some of them are still counting, and they were blowing up the boxes. And remember when I was at the meeting, and I brought that to their attention, I said, well, I used to work here, and I'm just telling you guys from inside, they accidentally leave the mail on the side, and they won't send it out. So I said, they don't get it. Trying to throw hints, but they still decided to use it.
We didn't have mass meetings. I'm talking about in-house.
It was always small hubs.
I don't like the Zoom stuff.
Yeah.
I'm talking about in-house.
You need that interpersonal
that
connection.
Energy was reflected. Because see, you take that energy and then you turn it into action at the polls. Mm-hmm. So there was no kind of like energy. And people got tired of the Zoom. Yeah, well, let me get off. If you were in-house with a great mass meeting, you had people with like chairs. Anybody have any question? Go over to that area. Anybody have questions? Go over there.
It changes the landscape because it's kind of like when churches on virtual.
Yeah, like A9, they do it.
But it's like, it's a difference when you physically got to get up and go into the house of the Lord or go into your place of work or physically, anytime you have to physically put energy into actively doing something, like us physically meeting, we have to physically put our energy into moving our minds to come here before the calls. So when you just eliminate that and just do it virtually, it loses its spark. People not going to log in. The impact is not going to be the same as in person. And it's going to go in one ear out the other because they're going to go in the kitchen and make something to eat and forget what they heard.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
We had a PA Young Voters Forum empowering the voting process.
Now, that is still the age of 18, correct?
Right. I had young people, so I went from 18 to 30.
But the thing about it is, what I'm proposing, that actually is really nice, the letters. But I'm working on proposing political studies and early education. Not so much as K-12, they're not going to understand it. But I mean from middle school to high school. These young people crave to be politically aware.
Well,
so if they don't know, if they don't understand, they don't know how to choose.
They don't know the moving part. But they're not informed.
Yeah. And that's unintentional.
You have to be well informed. Like, you know the kids that came there? I switched it. Mm-hmm. I allowed the young people to have a platform and a voice to ask the local politicians their question.
Yeah.
Guess what? About 15 minutes before it started, I had 2 local politicians that said, well, what is this all going to be about? I said, well, it's going to be the young people asking.
They're the future. If they don't know, how can they understand?
They didn't even show up. They canceled. Because sometimes they don't have the answer. And now I flipped it. Because normally it'll be the politicians asking. I flipped it so the young people can have a voice, so they can be well informed and prepared for this election.
Yeah.
But the point is that we don't get it. We get too caught up in like the senior citizen homes. Some of those people, parents don't care nothing about them. Or they don't exist.
That's why you put them in senior citizens homes.
We should have visited.
I told my son this, because I have a teenager.
And I visit.
Yeah, I went to the senior citizen home. It was a tea party for the youth. It was about 4 youth there, and the rest were older women. So I said, this is a really good start, really good program. It was one event, but we allowed the youth to get up there and voice their concerns and to voice their opinions and talk about violence. But that was it. And I kept calling. I kept asking. I said, okay, so we got these. We have these issues that the youth are talking about. So what are we going to do after this? It's like they got the fire to start it, but they don't have the eternal fire to keep it going. So I think that's the problem, that people have these ideas, but they don't have the longevity to keep going. And then when you have someone that actually wants to do it, they put stumbling blocks in your way to make it hard, to make you tired, to make you not want to do it. So it makes you think, do they really want you to be informed? Do they really want you to be aware?
You have to be well informed.
And that takes years. It takes years and years of dedication.
When they say, where do we go from here? you pull up your straps, you get it together, and you be consistent. What we did in this election should be what we should do throughout the year.
Right.
The whole year. Don't stop. Be consistent.
That's why I wanted to reach out to you, because I'm like, I remember this young lady that we sat in the program, and I said, this name sounds familiar. I couldn't picture her face, but when I heard it, I'm like, I remember this woman. We were on the same level trying to reach out. And I was like, well, maybe we should create something. You heard them. They all said, yeah, we'll do it. Where are they? I'm serious. You know?
Where were all of the people that wanted to become the mayor of this great state, this city?
They all come out for the food, for the pictures.
Well, I don't see none of them that ran.
Yeah.
But if you really love this state,
you're going to be there through thick and thin.
Everything.
Yeah.
I don't see none of them.
Yeah.
All of those ones that were voting, like a man, he was there.
Yeah.
Some few, but not like
not consistently.
And so that's what wins.
Yeah.
Being consistent.
Because just like you can be, the mail comes every day. You can expect to get a letter, regardless rain, sleet, hail, or snow. But these politicians are not. They're not going to come every day. And it's like, for me, from an outside person looking in, and from being in for a small period, like I said, they only do it for self-gratification. And you get in a position of power, you make all these promises, then you don't do it.
Yeah.
So that makes people not trust politicians, voting, and stuff like that.
It's almost a promise unkept.
Right.
That's really what it is. It's politics promises unkept.
Yeah.
So after they make the promise, it's unkept. It's not a constant thing in their brains to say, now I made this promise to the people. I'm gonna do everything I can to make this thing come to fruition. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
But they don't, and we just miss the men's shelter homes right there on they're located now on well, I know they was down in Center City.
They had one in Southwest.
Yep, and then they have the ones up here in Mount Airy. They have family shelters, and then they have the women's shelter.
Yeah.
And so then the schools, we went up to Martin Luther King High School. Some of those high school students could not even fill out the application.
It's sad. And because I'm very interactive with all the schools, online and in person, but the issue still remains the same. These children have high intellect. They don't know how to apply it, because it's like, when we were in school, we had to physically do stuff in person.
Yes.
So we had no choice but to build that emotional intelligence. They don't have that. They have intellect. They don't know how to apply it. And they have all these resources, social media, this and that, but they don't know how to use it. They turn it into negativity.
To get off of X, because Eli
is the Antichrist.
And he brought up Twitter and changed the name to X. So true is Donald Trump. Get off of those sites, because they don't need it. It's not a safe place for you. They're just using your information. You just have to be a little bit more careful about what you're doing. I do believe his satellite and Starlink got the election. They were right here in Philly. And they was taking them to court. It's an illegal lottery. They even said it. Then I just called the DA's office. I said, what are you doing about that?
Yeah.
You can't let it go. All these races were so close. Even with Kamala, I heard she's asking for a recount. Why didn't what's his name? Jeffries. Hakeem Jeffries. Why didn't he ask for a recount? It was like this.
And also, because we're in public, one of the places that I went to, they had everything on paper. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is not supposed to be on paper. So when we came in, this is not what they're supposed to do. They would ask you what party you're a part of. And it was like, they're not supposed to ask us that. So once they found out what it was, they had a box and they would take out the ones that they didn't want. So I'm like, this is rigged.
So they don't do the machine like we do in some of the
No,
areas.
It's written. Yeah, that's rigged.
And you gotta write it in and put it in.
And anybody can erase that.
Why couldn't you do why can't you do the machine? The machine,
the digital,
and then we do.
And then one of the machines was always broken.
No, I'm a machinist, and you have to do there's no trickery in that, because that thing goes into the hopper. There's a big hopper underneath that machine, and all of your votes is locked in there. You have to have a key to open up that hopper.
Now these machines they weren't like they were tablets.
That's what I'm saying. That's probably some areas, some
impoverished areas. They were in the impoverished neighborhoods because they looked at it like that their votes don't count. And I explained it to my son. He's like, well, Mom, what is the middle class? Because Mom keeps talking about the middle class. So, glory be to God. I didn't even realize I was middle class because God bless me. So, I looked it up and I said, wait a minute, let me look at this again. They don't count the poor votes. It starts with middle and high.
Well, now with Trump, it's going to rich and poor.
Right. Yeah, he
middle class.
Yeah, so he just automatically cuts out the middle class, so they're excluded. So it's only poor and rich. So it's like you're either going to be poor or you're going to be rich. So the people in the middle, of course, they're going to be upset because they're getting everything taken from them. Yeah. And that's going to create a civil war. And you have Nazis.
Well, this was a culture election, but why are not our local politicians fighting for a raise in minimum wages of 15? Now
it's $17.25.
No, we here are still at $7.25.
Yeah, in Pennsylvania. Yeah,
but you got our near community. We have New Jersey, that's 15 already. We have Camden, that's 15.
And what's Delaware?
Delaware is 15. So I'm saying, are we fighting here enough? But they said, now this is what they said. January the 1st, 2027, the minimum wage is supposed to go up. I asked that question. Why we gotta wait so long when everybody
why they gotta keep waiting?
Everybody around us is hitting it.
That makes you seem like that's intentional.
But that means that our local politicians
are not fighting. They keeping the money for themselves.
We go to, at my meeting, I'm a committee person. We have committee meetings and it's fundraising. They never tell us what the fundraising is for.
Exactly.
And I'm like saying, I'm going to stop that till you explain to me what that fundraising is.
And it's funny you said that, but not not in reality. When I go to the school meetings, it's always, we need a fundraiser. I'm like, how many fundraisers do y'all need? We just gave y'all this for that. And it's always, create this fundraiser. I'm like, for what? I'm like, they're trying to create all these accounts. I'm like, this don't sound right.
And I don't like it because first, I don't like giving my money up to these places because you really don't know what's right and what's wrong.
Right, I'll pay my tithes. That's different.
but see, I know that. But I'm talking about when they had PA1 and all the other people were asking for donations. I'm asking, what do you need a donation for? We're trying to help Kamala Harris.
Right. Why y'all asking for money? It's supposed to. They already have the money.
If her campaign comes up and says, we need a little bit more help, that's different. But
right.
All y'all hitting my pockets.
Right. It has to be it's a hidden agenda.
That's why I don't like the Zoom. I don't like the Zoom when it comes to something like that because it's not like a personal touch.
Right, and that's like you going to the bank asking for mortgage. Oh, we'll do it on Zoom. You think the bank really going to put you on Zoom and give you a $200,000 grant or a loan? Yeah, just Zoom.
We have to go back to,
right.
to the regular meetings.
You have to go back to it, and you have to.
Well, people have questions because sometimes
put religion back where it belongs. They took religion
center. If we
everyone wants to be.
I'm on Zoom, have my hand raised for this and that. They said, "I'm sorry, we get ready to close."
Right, and they'll say, "Oh, we have questions. We'll answer questions at the end," but nobody answers the questions. And you'll see someone writing all these comments. They'll find some random comment out of nowhere and be like, "Oh, we'll do this." I'm like, "What?" So, thank you so much for your transparency.
We have a lot of work ahead of us.
We have a lot of work, and it's only going to turn into a snowball effect. So, my next question is, what are your thoughts on the potential changes in foreign policy following this election?
Now with the new administration, we have over the foreign policy.
Yeah, I don't want mass deportation.
I don't think it's going to be the foreign policy. I think it's going to be just like what Trump said. He's a dictator. He's going to switch everything all around. There's going to be these foreign presidents that are going to take over, making decisions on policy. And you got to remember, Trump is not going to. He's not going to run this country. Those ones that's over the foreign policies. Foreign policies in Eli, who is rich, a billionaire, the richest man on the planet. So my take on the foreign policy is going to be a total mess. It's not going to be. We're not going to be. We're not going to.
Yeah, it's not going to be for the people. It's going to be for. It's a business contract, and that's all it is. And
we're not included.
No, we're not included at all. Especially minorities are definitely not included. They will actually want to get them out, and it doesn't matter how many people have multiracial children. They're going to get rid of them.
And you see what Kamala said. Kamala said, "I am going to increase the child tax credit from $2,000 to $3,600." Now she meant that. He said because people can get their kids, got to take care of their kids, and I say this: you can't be going through these foreign policies and all that, and going through that because they don't pay the grocery bill. You know what I'm saying? We have to make sure that we are voting for things, or where are they being distributed to and who. I don't think we'll be included in that. And the distribution of that foreign policy won't have us in mind.
With the new administration?
New administration is not going to include us. If you do research on all of them, look where they are. So the billionaires and millionaires are running this country.
Yeah.
Not Donald Trump. They running it.
It's
a return. It's a return on a favor. Now,
right.
This is what Eli said. He cannot run as a president here. He likes power and money.
Who, Elon?
Eli is from South Africa.
Yeah, Elon is not an American citizen. He's African.
So he had to find
someone
a way
to get in.
And so then he came through this, and he says, "I'll go through Trump, and I'll take a lower position,
just to get his foot
to
in the
connect."
door. Yeah, I was telling someone that, and they usually I try to give them the truth, but as we know, all people are not ready for the truth. And you have to look at the things that he was doing even before he got into the White House. He's putting chips in people's brains. He's putting chips in people's hands. And everyone already know, if you went to the Bible, that's the mark of the beast. So, and he had to, like you said, get his foot in the door. He knows that Trump
spending all that money on the election.
He knows that Trump is a businessman. He doesn't see anything but money. So why not pick someone that is not strong? He doesn't have no discernment at all.
And he doesn't care anything about the people.
All he cares about is making deals.
That's it.
And he's going to, if anything, he's going to be inviting Putin in here. He's going to be inviting Elon in here. They're both not United States citizens. They can care less. Their main objective is to take over this country. Elon is putting chips in people's brains to control robots.
You see his mother divorced, they married 9 years, divorced, and she raised up all of these billionaires.
And the father said, if any woman wants to have a billionaire, come with me.
So
on X.
That's what I'm saying. I deleted X. I told everybody on Friday the 15th, delete your X account. So,
I think I have one, but I'm not sure. I don't use it. I have a Truth Social because I need to be aware of what's going on.
Yeah, that's Trump's.
And I don't post anything, but I just need to have an understanding.
But if you go to Nation, it tells you everything.
Nation, is it
just the Nation?
Just Nation?
The Nation. And it keeps you updated. Also, Reverend Al Sharpton, he has a site too that he's getting ready to do a rally.
Okay.
And the rally is going to take place on the same day as the inauguration.
Well, I'm not even going to say what's going to happen for the inauguration, because his inauguration is...
No, I'm saying that he's going to do a Martin Luther King, as they always do, because it's on the 20th of January.
Yeah.
So we're supposed to be on one side, where we always have our rallies, and then the inauguration is going to be that. You know what I tell people? They keep saying, I don't think he's going to do 4 years. Trump. I just don't think. And then
He's not.
we got to be careful.
He's not.
But you know, we got to be careful with
The Proud Boys.
Yep, all of them that he's going to depart, and then he's going to. We got to be careful when it's time for us to recircle with our judges. That election. We got to pull people out. That's already come up again next year.
But it's the thing about it. When the election for the judges come, if Kamala had any sense, she should become a judge. She has the qualifications to be a judge.
They said she might run for governor of California.
That's not the right move for her.
But what I think, this is what I think. Biden should have resigned and made her president.
He should have trained her properly to know what she's
They
doing.
didn't even see her until...
I didn't even know who she was.
They kept her in hiding. See, people get the wrong impression. A vice president can't take over the president.
No, because she's just a helpmate.
She had to stay in her lane.
Yeah.
So they kept her hidden for those years.
That's why everybody's like, who is this?
See,
That's their fault.
That's their
because
fault.
they knew that Joe Biden was older. And they knew his
shouldn't
health
have never
conditions.
ran. He should have never run
Yeah,
for
they
re-election.
shouldn't have put him in there. He said himself that he didn't want to run because of the situation with his son,
And he
his
said
health,
the only
and
reason
everything.
why he would is because of people. But you could have had Hakeem Jeffries.
You could have had somebody else do it.
I mean, come on.
They knew. That's why I feel like they say these things, but they act in different. It's like you did it on purpose. That makes you think that.
A lot of money lost. Now we're coming out and we're not going to have much. Our education may be dismantled.
Yeah, they're defunding the education, and who's the main people that's going to suffer from that? African Americans and Latinos.
If anybody teaches slavery in the schools, he will not fund them. Then he said in all of the HBCU, he said that he's going to be protecting white people because he felt that discrimination was against them. You're well privileged. You're making big money.
You never experienced oppression a day in your life.
Don't know what poor means.
Exactly. If anything, you only know what happens when you lose $1. If you even lose that, you don't know what it means to be oppressed.
Listen, I am accountable for my ancestors.
Yes.
They suffered over 400 years of this mess.
And they're still suffering.
And under worse conditions. They had worse conditions than we did. You want to go back counting jelly beans in a jar? That's Jim Crow. See, people don't. If you don't
But
know
they voted
your history,
them in.
If you don't know your history, we could have voted them out. You know what we have to do? I have a sister, and it's going to be a movement. We hire, we fire. That's what I'm doing. I got a movement, and it's a new thing for me. That means that if we hire you and you don't do it, we fire you. There's no more keeping you in for years and years. Just like
You get 365 days, and that's it.
That's it.
Well, actually, 365
because
days.
they get
2
more,
years.
They get 2 years.
Yeah, that's it.
And Bob
Casey,
Brady has been a chair committee person since 1978.
That's too long.
And they said it has to be a third of a vote by the ward leaders to keep them in.
But the thing about it is, they complain that youth are not involved, but they don't give them opportunities to be involved. They say that you're allowed to become, I think, in one of the offices, 25.
Yeah.
But they don't allow it. They say you don't have enough experience. They don't give you the education that you need. They make that white privilege by making you pay for everything. Then they wonder why the youth turn
Because
on
they want
violence.
us to be slaves again. It's slavery.
That's it. That's all they want. That's what they know. That's what they understand, and it's ingrained in
You
them.
see all those texts that's been coming out. Be aware of brown.
Yeah, my son got one. My son is multiracial, and he said, "Mom, all my friends got this text." He sent it to me about the plantation, and I read it, and I'm like, well, like I said, I'm trying to create programs for our people, but I also don't just want to include just our people for minorities.
Lady in New Jersey, they painted all kind of racial stuff over her place.
It's sad because they don't realize the decision that they made. They did it with their own hands by not even voting. I told so many people my age, I said, look, go out and vote.
300,000 did not vote, didn't show up.
And that was the way that you could have made a change. It doesn't matter, right?
The numbers were
exactly 3,000. It doesn't even matter. It's a woman. It's about what the result is.
They still got that mentality, that change.
They have that slave mentality.
Yeah, it's wrapped around our heads.
And another thing,
a lot of them don't even care about what's going on. If you ask the person who run now, who's the president now?
No, they don't. They don't care. And the simple fact is that they don't want to know. When I go down to community centers and I teach.
Did you see all of Donald Trump's administration?
Oh yeah. No. Absolutely not. No. And they the ones who voted for him.
See? Unkept. A promise unkept.
Right.
That's my thing.
And he had a guy on there blatantly disrespecting the island, and you still voted for him. He's telling you to your face he does not care about you, and you pick him anyway.
And people voted for him just because, like, okay, you saying that she is a woman, but she was flawless. He's a man, and he's lawless. 34 count felons, sexual assault.
And they still put digging up dirt.
Carroll and is real, and they still, all he want to do is get to that White House so everything could be white. I didn't think we fought enough. They kept delaying. Like, why are you delaying this trial? Now we're here.
Because they already knew in their mind what they wanted to do.
They were paid off.
Right. They already knew what they wanted to do. That's why he had certain people in the White House forum. The United States is for sale. And they run.
So our foreign policy has been a mess and never has been right.
It's never going to be right.
Even President Obama tried to correct it, and because he did an executive order to do it, they didn't allow him to.
How do you feel they're going to affect the health care? It's going to be shut down.
The healthcare system, they wanted to get away with the word Obamacare. Yeah. Now they're saying that it's going to be, we're going to have, the healthcare system. The healthcare system is not going to be like it is now, because they're doing away with Obamacare. They're trying to get away. That's why he had JFK over that healthcare. This man don't know nothing. He doesn't even have the experience.
Talking about JFK
Jr. That's now that he put in over the healthcare system. How you think our chances are? We won't have chances. He's not going to be fair.
No.
So what we would say when we talk about healthcare is not going to be fair. If we talk about our seniors that are struggling now to pay for, so if you looked at Kamala Harris' policy, it would have took care. Even Trump even Biden put some things in for insulin, your medicine. You're gonna have people dying off, and that's the plan. That's the plan.
It's a sense of human genocide.
I pray he doesn't never get to the inauguration stage. Well, I mean, people said you asking for too much. I'm not asking for anything. I'm believing in it. I don't believe that. See, sometimes God, things are happening for us to wake up. I don't believe that. That's not God's choice. This is evil. He's not a good man. He's a corrupt man. So we can't. He said God put him in here. He kept him from all the assassinations. I said, don't put God in that. Right. No, it just didn't happen to you. And then the second one, I believe it was a hoax. I think he did that himself, because I ain't never heard about that guy ever.
Sometimes God will allow things to happen.
What he said is my people that are called by my name.
Right, but he doesn't mean that he's okay with it.
No,
Solomon
he said our people. He said he will humble, and then he will heal the land. But some people are not coming together. I asked some churches, all churches under one mission, come together.
They all care about themselves.
When it comes to stuff like this, you need to get out of yourself.
Yes, it's
under the
because
mission.
it's about people have failed to realize we are not ourselves. We don't belong to no one but God. God created everything here. God created everything that we are allowed to use. So if you just walk around thinking that you created these things for yourself, sadly mistaken, you're closer to hell than you think. And for people to be like you said, God knows his children. And every child is not a child of God. So when they make these statements or say things and do things like that.
Excuse me. Do they have blueberry muffins here?
No.
That's what I wanted.
What kind of muffins do you guys have?
We don't have any muffins. Whatever we have is like up there.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. I love blueberry muffins.
Yeah. Would you like to get a bite to eat? Or?
No, I just wanted that. I had something. I had breakfast.
Okay.
But I like the blueberry muffins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Thank you for asking. But,
yeah, no worries. And like I said, these young people, when I go down and I teach and introduce them to the Word of God, and it's like I said, I'm creating a whole program to help people come to Christ. You got half and half. A lot of them don't know Jesus, and some of them don't want to know.
That's right.
So if you don't even want to know where we came from, you only want to be stuck in this mindset that we were slaves. You want to be stuck in the mindset of that we are not able to do anything. You don't want to even realize that the slaves that they say that we were the same slaves that built the pyramids 4 million years before slavery, when the whole creation of the world was created in Africa. You don't want to know that. You rather be oppressed. You rather wear clothes that have no meaning. So
That's it.
It's surprising, but it's not surprising. This is why they don't even want to vote. They don't want to do anything. They're too entitled. And then when you try to talk to their parents don't want to listen.
They just think he's going to save them and line their pockets.
He's not a savior with the stimulus check. That stimulus check was only available because of COVID.
And it wasn't his money.
It was our money.
It was our money because the fact is, it came from the state treasury. And state treasury is, we pay in.
Exactly.
And
all that money got to be put back.
He just said that I won't agree on it unless my name is on it.
Yeah, to give himself credit.
Yeah, that's why everybody say Trump gave us that money.
No, it was your money. Probably the same money that you pay with taxes.
You just got a portion of the bag.
Right.
Let's just be real. Sometimes you got to slap people in the face of being
reality. Yeah.
Well,
they say the truth hurts, but they don't want to hear the truth.
Well, they always say the truth is short and the lie is long.
Yeah. And that's exactly what they are.
So we have to just be better with that. Our foreign policy and who he has over it it's just not going to work. We have Grant, the guy, he was supposed to be raping a young girl. He's putting them there over. Our policies wasn't strong at all, but now under Trump policies are very weak, and they're going to continue being weak, and we are not in it. We're not going to be able to see us in the process. Mm-hmm. So people I'm being transparent. We're not going to see us in the process. We might be on the end, the bottom of the process, but we're not in the process of the movement of making things right for all people. And that's what our local politicians should be doing. They should try to make things as right for all people.
Yeah, they can still make an impact.
So we can see ourselves. So when you go to DC, we're sending you to DC to fight for us. We're not just saying you just
take pictures.
Yes. So you're a local politician. So we have a local Supreme Court. We have the United States Supreme Court. Mm-hmm. If you remember conjunction junction, what's your function?
Yes.
If we go back to the learning of those things, but they've been trying to take the civics out of schools.
They took religion out of school.
Right. So you're not informed. And that's my goal, is to make people informed. So therefore, we can't do it on that level. We're going to have to find an area of level where we have to do it at. We might have to meet up in some of these big churches, say, can we meet them once a month? Whatever we do, we have to be consistent. We have to be aware. But our local politicians should have to help us be aware. They should send out things and notice and saying, this is what's coming up. I learned by reading that she's contesting to do a recount. Bob Casey is doing that because it was so close. But is that enough? Pennsylvania, Philly did well.
Yeah.
But is that enough?
Do you think that? Hey, how you doing? Do you think that with people's lack of faith drives them to the decisions that makes no sense?
Yeah, because some of them are not in face rent.
Yeah.
They're not about faith. They're about like I'm doing
Self.
right now.
Right.
They're not looking at how this is going to affect me later. And then a lot of young people are like, I ain't got nothing to worry about. I'm living home with my mom. They're not worried.
Right.
Like you got the working class people that are worried and concerned. And it don't seem like a lot of our local politicians are reaching out.
Because, like I said, from what I'm noticing, they only do it for clout in a roundabout way, and that's not how you're going to reach people. And, you know, when I go to these underprivileged neighborhoods, I can make much more of a bigger impact if I had the support. Because they'll see what I'm teaching and trying to learn. I've had people try to steal my work and hid it somewhere else. I said, no, I caught it and I got it back. But I'm like, well, if people keep trying to steal what I'm teaching, it must be this valuable. And secondly, when I present these programs to you guys, you say you're going to do it and you don't do it. So you're stripping funding from a program that can actually help people. So I don't really know which direction I should go.
They're trying to, with Eli and that's whatever his name is, they are trying to control the government funding money. Mm-hmm. He even said it's going to be a little uncomfortable. It's going to have a hardship attached, but we're going to be okay. Now, when somebody tell me a hardship, you're rich, the richest man on this planet, you ain't going to even feel that hardship. I am. Mm-hmm. And he said it. This came out of his mouth. Oh, you're going to feel a little hardship during this transaction. Mm-hmm. But it won't last for long. What's long?
And where are you getting these messages from, Elon?
Because he wants power.
Yeah, Elon is definitely not the same.
President.
Yeah, he is. He's definitely not the same. But when he came out,
he didn't even like he didn't even like Trump. He talked about Trump like crazy.
Yeah,
he didn't even like him. So I just say to myself,
how do you feel it's going to affect climate change?
Well, a lot of that's going to, climate change is going to be affected. I don't know who this is calling from. It's going to affect our climate change because if you notice, Eli is about the rockets in the skies and going up into
the atmosphere, disrupting the atmosphere.
Right. So our climate, we're talking about, we got issues right now.
It's going to be even worse. If anything, you're going to expose us to a lot more radiation.
Because he already said, you look at it, he got Tesla, what is he doing with Tesla? His car.
Electricity.
There you go. Now he wants to send people to the moon and all that stuff. Who's going to pay for that? Who's going to suffer?
Taxpayers.
There you go. So that, under Trump, the climate change is going to change drastically because we don't have a say. And he's testing all these little areas. Like he's like a test tube baby, something like that. Like, I'm going to test this out. I've got my cars. Then you see that all them cars are not really well. Teslas and stuff, they're not doing that well. Mm-hmm. So, but he is going through Trump, the connection, to make.
He's using them as a vessel to get his way.
That's it.
Because if I think it was a scripture, the devil will rise, or it might be from the movie, The Devil Will Rise in Politics. He doesn't have any political background, so he needs to get in any way he can. And the information that he has, because it goes a lot deeper. The information that Tesla has to create all these things and to build all these things is not his own. It's from Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla was under investigation from the government.
Yes.
And they killed him and seized all his documents, and the government took it. The reason why is because Nikola Tesla figured that you don't have to pay for these resources because it's all free. So naturally they wanted to take it. They had cell phones back in the 20s. They had electricity back in the 20s. All these things were already available. They didn't have access to human people because for some reason they already know you can't give everybody power. So when you constantly use electricity, it disrupts the Earth's magnetic fields, and we are all electrical beings.
That's right.
So if we're throwing off electrically, it's going to increase mental illness, physical illness, every illness possible.
Already, I don't even like my phone. I don't keep it on my ear long. I might
because that can cause radiation.
And my microwave is used very seldom. Because that radiation, all that stuff. So you imagine all this stuff that they're going to be putting up for us without a choice.
And then gas, they taking the gas out of the ground and trying to tell you that it's better to use. How is it better to use than electricity? Electricity is used for us.
That's what I'm saying.
Not for a vehicle.
We are not in good position at this
No,
point.
but like it's a scripture. Remember when King Solomon, they chose their king?
Yes.
God told them, you don't need a king. They chose him anyway. Look what happened.
This went crazy. I mean, all these people were crooked and, they...
It's one, so I'm not going to hold you up any longer.
Okay. Wait 1 second. No? Who's calling? I'm in a meeting. Okay, thank you.
So for the predictions of the future immigration policy, I feel like it's going to be mass deportation.
But you know what I'm saying about the mass deportation? Let's just be real, okay? First and foremost, how are you gonna collect all those people in a plane and then ship them back? Now you got to have permission for them to go back to those countries. You can't just drop them like a bomb.
Right. What if they got exiled?
That's so you just gonna get all them people off in a plane or a bus, and it's gonna cost a lot of money. And you're gonna send them back to where they came from. For real, you can't just go in somebody's one of the countries and dump something off. You can't do that. That's a process. So I'm saying to them, they're telling people lies because you cannot do it. You have to all the countries that these immigrants have come from have to be notified that we're getting ready to bring these people back. And know what they're gonna say? Then y'all gotta pay us money to keep them here. So what I'm saying is that mass deportation ain't real. It's just talking. He's just trying to say
What people want to hear.
That's all. He said that his first day in office, the war would be done. Where is it? We still in.
He can do it now.
That's what he said his first day. So as being elected, first day.
See, for him even saying that the war can be in my first day of office, should have gave people the mental capacity to realize that he probably started it or have ties involved in it.
With Russia, Putin. Now you just listen to this. If you can settle the war with Russia and Ukraine, why wouldn't you do it now? It's dangerous.
It's something
you just
in
want
it.
You just want to be showed off. You want to show off. You want to say I did it.
It's a
but you letting
deeper
people
meaning
suffer.
for it. Yeah.
And those people that voted for him should have seen it. This man is just doing this. If he said he could do it when he get in office, why can't he help?
Exactly.
We supposed to be working together. When it comes to a war, the Republicans, Democrat, we all. It's supposed
It's
to be.
one nation under God.
That's it. We're supposed to be working together to get this thing done. I don't like that division, and I think it's unhealthy. And so I just think that anything, the healthcare system, we have the cyber security. That's we got to be aware of all of that stuff. that's going to be hurting us. And Trump is not smart enough. Now, he got all these people, and I did my research, and I tell people, you got to look at people's platforms that he's hiring. They don't look good to be handling our democracy in our country.
One of the women, like Martha Stewart, who is that?
No, you're not talking about Martha Stewart, the one that's...
No, she looks like that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's who's going to be the chief of staff.
I'm like, who is this?
She's going to be the chief of staff.
I would have to look into it.
She's
So I'm
the
like,
chief
who
of
is
staff.
this?
And
Like, where are you getting these people?
he said that she was, in his first election, she was there helping him, and she did really well. And
They using him. He think he's doing something. They using him as a pawn because they know he don't have
He's
the
a puppet.
intellect.
He's
Yeah,
a puppet.
that's it. One more question, because I don't want to take up too much of your time. How do you think the election will influence social injustice initiatives?
How the election do what?
Will influence social justice initiatives?
This election,
Yes.
it won't influence it in a positive way. Social justice, okay, with Donald Trump and his staff, there ain't gonna be no such thing as that. No social justice. There ain't gonna be no justice in anything. Not when a man is saying that he wants to call back for the bring back the death penalty. Not when a man is saying that he is going to allow police officers to do whatever they want, and they will not have any consequences. They will not be prosecuted. All total immunity. There's no social justice for the poor and for anyone. You have a lawyer. You have nothing. The social
It's like, what's that movie? Remember that day you had one day that you could kill everybody and get away with it?
and get away. He said that he is going to allow the police officers to just do whatever they want to do. You could be somewhere in an area like Flower Town or whatever. My son lives in Flower Town, and they like, what you doing over here? You pick on him.
They've already started.
Right. And so therefore, you got to prove all this stuff, and then if they rough you up, you never will get prosecuted. That's what he wants to bring back. The justice system is not going to be a fair system.
So he wants to make it pre-civil rights.
He wants to get
Race
rid of that.
wars.
He wants to get rid of all of that.
Yeah, race wars, race riots.
He's not giving it. It's not going to be fair. Under his administration, there's no fairness. There's no justice for right all. When they say liberty and the
Justice for all. It's going to be
There's
liberty and justice for Trump
Trump. That's it.
and his supporters.
That's it. So no more of that. No more. I tell these young people, you better stay out of trouble.
In some of the areas outside of Philly, when I'm driving, I just tell my son, I'm like, just roll down the windows, just drive under the speed limit.
Make sure you clean.
Yeah.
Make sure your record.
Because
But like I
they're
said,
pulling people over for no reason.
he is. She has to be flawless, and then he could be lawless. So that means that this nation is not ready for a woman of good character.
But you're ready for a criminal.
But you're ready for a criminal man. A man that's still have all these cases against him.
Their main objective, what I keep hearing people say, since we have a felon in office, can we change the laws for other felons? It's still self.
I believe that I will fight for that. I believe that if you have a felon in office, the chief, the highest position,
Right.
and you're saying that, so now we need to remove felons off of job applications,
Housing.
voting,
Voting.
because they have that. So we'll see what that looks like. Because we can't go through here with a blind eye here. We got to be aware and alert and very vigilant. Because it's not just for us either. It's for this generation, next generation, that generation yet unborn. That's what our ancestors did to make sure that we have a chance to get to this point.
Yeah, they didn't have Martin Luther King. He didn't do that for himself. He did it for all people.
Everybody. When they boycott the bus, it was for everybody have a right to get on that bus and sit wherever they want to.
Would they have the people when they told them the sit-ins at the restaurant?
Yes, all of that. Beat up. You had John Lewis beating in his head. They was on the these people, that's why I always feel passionate in my heart. Like it resonates. Like they went through some stuff worse.
They went through so many things, and it's like social media is a huge fault for that.
Yes.
Because it gives people this mindset of, oh, I can do this, I can do that. But what about us? What about the people? And then when you have someone that tries to fight for the people, you don't believe them.
But our party is not fighting hard. Our party is, because if you go back and read about the true Democrat, you like, I'm proud. I'm not proud of what I see. I got to be very transparent.
Now, was it in the beginning when we first were free? Were the slaves, was our political party Republican in the beginning? Then we switched to Democratic
we didn't have a party because they didn't allow us to vote.
When we were able to vote, were most of the blacks voting Republican due to Abraham Lincoln being a Republican?
And then when they did the civil rights movement, the birth of that, and that's when we started having equal rights, equal say. The Democrat. Have you ever noticed it says Democrat and on the bottom it says rat?
Yeah.
Republican. You know.
Right.
And I always looked at that kind of thing like, you know, you really created that word.
Yeah.
With a rat on the back or the end of it.
Right.
And I'm just saying, like, no, we didn't have rights. And guess what? The voting process was really for the incarceration system and territory and population, because we were only counted as an animal, a fifth of a human.
Right, a chattel.
Yeah. So that population helped them build up institutions. So because if you just had that population, you get more money and your population is bigger. So now the Senate and all the people were saying, well, we have a big population here. So we were trying to fight now that when they have the count now in the conservation, they'll tell people they have to use that address. That's only for their good, and then we're fighting. No, when it comes to the voting or the censoring and all that, why, when the census go in there, why do they have to use that? Why can't they use where they were going to go back to after they have finished being incarcerated?
Right.
So we say no, because all it's doing is building up the population, money.
Yeah.
Off of us, they're still using us.
So it would make sense as to why they would have us start out as the Republican Party, because it was more of a mass number.
Right.
So they would use us to build the number, and then once it got to a certain level, let's create another party and convince them to go over here. Everyone goes over there, and then we destroy that to make them feel like more oppressive.
Well, no, it was people starting to speak out that we're not going to be Republicans and had more of a choice. But until that, we had no choice. But it was then when people started talking about it.
But it was a more so still using to get the power, and what they're still doing now with institutionalization.
Yeah.
And they're not creating schools so kids can learn. Schools are designed for the students to fail. They create them to become prisoners.
I worked in school because I'm a former educator. I worked where house arrest was allowed. Probation, and we had probation there, we had parole there, and those things were all in a public quality school, where kids that could not go to special meds and things like that, charter, whatever, they had to stay there. There was so many distractions. You don't want to kick them out. What I'm saying is that they shouldn't have been in a regular public setting. We don't want to get rid of them, but they should have been
specialized learning or something.
Specialized instructional services should have been a part. They should have had different organizations where these kids were being allowed to go and learn and help them to develop, because they had a special need. So you have alternative education, so you can help them.
But they don't even have advocacy programs. And when I introduced
Where's the
them
alternative education program? Alternative schools, where are they?
in the white areas, because I just actually just looked at them. They're all in the rural areas,
And they used to have them right here.
and they make them special admitted, and you have to pay a tuition. So it's
Alternative education is so important because it's an alternative to your regular.
it's like
public system.
GEDs and everything like
All
that.
of that, like they should have never closed down Germantown because you could have had all of those programs.
They closed
in
down
there.
my old high school. I went to Bob,
See, you could have had all of those good programs in there to help people.
and they make you pay for it. Now, I
Yeah.
thank you for
Yeah.
meeting with me today. It was a
Yeah.
pleasure.
Yeah. Nice
I would love to
meeting you.
continue working with you.
Yeah, let's work